Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome to the video. Today's video is gonna be kind of like the old vloggy video, right? But we're gonna see some cool things. So it's a little loud. I'm on a dirt road. I've got a bunch of stuff in the back bouncing around. I just went to Harbor Freight Tools and I picked up a few things. I'll show you what I picked up. Just like some cleaning supplies, you know, rags. You know, you can buy the really cheap rags and stuff at Harbor Freight, and some towels. And then I got a vacuum, the one on sale for 50 bucks, like a shop vac. And I'll just say this, like maybe you guys didn't see a previous video or anything, but I've got 3 Land Cruisers at my house, right? This is one of them. This is my 80 series, 1997. And I have no room to do anything there with another vehicle. So I bought a 4th Land Cruiser, a 1986 60 series Land Cruiser. I got it for 5,000 bucks. It needs some work, needless to say. It was a barn find. I showed a little bit of it a few weeks ago, like when I picked it up. Well, I picked it up and I took it like an hour and a half north of me. We parked it up there because we had no place to park it at the house. But as soon as I got up there and dropped it, I was dropping it off. I'm like, this is dumb. This is a dumb idea. Like, I get it. Like, I was just gonna let it sit for a while until I finished. I'm still waiting. I'm on week 17, waiting for my lift kit for this 80 series. Week 17. They said 14 to 16 weeks for the shocks. Well, I'm at week 17. They're not responding to emails, and they were supposed to send me their equipment, and I was just gonna be waiting on the shocks and springs, which obviously were some other name brand. So that's not going good. So because of that, I was planning on doing this car in the first part of December here. So instead, I'm like, well, I can work on the 60 that I just got because it needs a lot of work, like basics. From the basics, cleaning. I need to clean it. I need to rip out the upholstery. It's all jacked. We're gonna see all that coming up. I'm headed there right now. So I dropped it off up there. As soon as I dropped off, I said, this is dumb. I'm not gonna drive an hour and a half just to poke around with this thing. It's in the middle of a dirt field. So it was a few weeks before Thanksgiving. So from this point, about a month ago when I dropped it off up there. And since then, I've been looking around for, you know, like where they have those RV storage places where you have a little spot and I could go and it would be local and I could, you know, check it out, do a little work on it, see what it needs, stuff like that. Well, for some reason, everything is completely booked. Like, it's nuts. If there's 500 spaces available across a 30-mile, like, you know, radius at all these different facilities, every one of them was taken. Every single one of them. How crazy is that? But I found one. So this is it. This is my little shop here. It's it's probably like a 2-car garage basically, but it's angled in here because I had to roll it off the U-Haul trailer. Got a little issue with the tire. It's totally flat and it's dry rotted completely out. So I'm going to, I don't know, I'm gonna see what the spare is like under there. I think it's dead too. I think ultimately short term, because I hate buying tires, man. I hate it. I think what I'll do is I'll put the tires off the 80 series, these Yokohamas, which are pretty new. They were on there when I bought that. I'll probably put those tires on this, you know, until I get this thing running and see how much, yeah, you know, if I love it as much as I love the 80, and we'll go from there. But I brought some, so I was saying earlier, I went to Harbor Freight and I brought some stuff from home, because what I'm going to try and do is, you know, you have everything set up at home and it's like nice because you know you have every tool and everything. But this is what I got. Got some jack stands for 30 bucks, got a bucket, got a bunch of like gloves and towels and things to do cleaning, some shop towels. I bought this, it was 50 bucks and it had better reviews. People were saying they like it better than like the rigid one at Home Depot. So for 50 bucks, it's half the price of the rigid one. Give it a chance. This was 29 bucks. I got one of these creepers. I have a nice creeper at my house, but I caught a wheel in one of the little, you know, the gaps that separate the concrete, and it, with my weight on it, it just, yeah, it didn't work so good. And then from home, I brought a table, I brought a chair, and then I brought this little jack for now, and then some hand cleaner out of my trailer. So I'm gonna get this stuff set up in here and we can kind of take a closer look at the 60. All right, so I'm gonna try and drop this spare tire out from underneath here. So I found in the back 3 of the, you know, the Toyota jack rods, but it didn't have this piece, so I took this out of the 80 series. These are both old Toyotas, 1986 and 1997. It's crunchy. It's crunchy. I bought some of the gloves from Harbor Freight, mechanics gloves. They're not much cheaper than the real mechanics gloves, but I've destroyed so many in the last couple months. All right, so it's a different wheel. Okay, got that. Jesus. 31 1050. It's flat. The wheels that are on here are like old Centerline aluminum, they look like. Well, I tried to get this tire off here. I've got this bottle jack it's a tall bottle jack that has a built-in jack stand. Problem is, it's too tall to get underneath the axle with the tire down, and it's not tall enough to get under the frame to get it up where I can get another jack stand. Anyway, I just got to bring my floor jack here, I guess. Thought I could get away with not bringing that over here. Let me just tell you that the Nitro gloves from Harbor Freight, they're double XLs. They're actually double XL. They actually fit my hands. I got some 7 mil thick and 9 mil thick. If you don't know, that's the thickness, you know. Usually they're about 2 mil. 2 mil is really thin, but that's kind of traditional. These thicker ones, though, are better for working on cars and grease. So, and like Home Depot always is out of stock in them. So yeah, these are pretty good. They're Hardy brand. That's the same brand as those like the mechanics gloves I got. You know, it's just one of those brands. So since I can't do that, ever since I looked at this thing, I've been looking at like the steering wheel. Obviously, the dash cover, the top, is destroyed, right? It's completely destroyed. The good part about this, though, is it only comes down, and it's probably hard to see in there, it only comes down halfway. The bottom half of the dash is metal. And I think the whole dash is metal, but there's this like padded vinyl, you know, cap that goes on top of it. And you can get replacements. They're replicas, they're not original, but they're not too bad. I mean, it looks terrible. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna try and clean the steering wheel. This will be like the first thing I try and do. See if, you know, the steering wheel is one of those things that actually gets pretty destroyed. I hope there's no rats in here. I picked it up yesterday, and when we got in here, thought we heard like some scraping of something. Oh, Okay, that's stream. I need spray. Oh, there we go. All right, so this, what I'm using here is Chemical Brothers Interior Clean, like a quick detailer cleaner. It's weird, right? That I've been thinking about cleaning this more so than anything. I just wanted to see if you get like a little bit clean somewhere, and it starts to really motivate you to see what everything could possibly look like. All right, let's see if we can get this thing looking better. There's some grime on it, but I don't see any like huge chunks out of it, which is good. There's definitely 30 something years worth of grime on here. Does this have tilt? What is this button? Push this up. Oh, Jesus, it does have tilt. Oh, now it doesn't. Stop tilting. I think I broke it. This is like a motivation day. Get stuff in the shop and do a little bit of, I was going to do the tire, but now I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning, see how it comes out. I was gonna tell you, but I better show you. So the only tools I have is the little tiny toolkit that I built for each of the Toyotas. I'll show you what it looks like. So it has every tool that comes like in the factory toolkit, plus some pliers and ratchets and stuff. I'm going to see if I can do most of the stuff I need to do with just that little toolkit. I know I'm not going to when I get up into the engine, but pretty close probably. All right, well, I tried to clean a little bit here, and it's pretty dirty. As I got in there, I could smell, you know, it smells like pee of some animal. So I think I've already committed to, or I made a decision. I think I'm gonna take all the seats out. Not today though. I'm gonna get one of them hazmat suits. I'm gonna take out the seats and I'm gonna pull all the carpet out. I'm gonna get it all the like the cloth out of here before I go too deep into trying to clean anything, because I've already looked up and researched carpet kits and things like that, so they're available. And I want to do something like a Line-X, or you know, the rolling, trying to do some kind of sound deadening and insulation underneath that, and then do the padding in the carpet. But I definitely gotta rip this stuff out. I gotta rip the carpet out. But then it's gonna give me a good sign if there's any rust hiding underneath there. But for right now, I'm gonna try and pull off this door panel. Taking off the handrest and the crank, which is a little C-clip in behind it, and the little plastic shroud that goes in behind the door opener. Now, this part here that's all rusty, these windows were open about this far for 10 years through monsoons and everything else. So that's why this is all rusted. I want to see what's behind this panel. There's a lot of stuff flying out of here. Oh, there we go. So that's cool. This is part of the door panel, not the actual door that rusted out. It's like a little thin piece of sheet metal that's part of this door panel. Look at that, where the speaker was. Set this aside. It actually doesn't look bad in here. And I don't know, there's a lot to think about. But today is literally the first day that I've done anything, looked closely at this thing. You know, I had kind of glanced at it and then made an offer. I bought it, I picked it up, I dropped it off at a remote location, went back and picked that up a month later, dropped it off here yesterday, and now's the first day that I've actually spent, I've been here about 2 hours now, kind of just looking, poking around at things. nothing's jumping out at me as like, oh man, you know, I mean, the engine, there's some chewed wires from rats. I'll show you that. This was one of the things, you know, these doors, because you look at it, all of a sudden you see this big band of rust. Like I said, the windows were open this far for 10 years, just out in the field. And we get monsoon rains here every year, and snow and heat. So when you look at that, you think, oh, geez, the doors are completely rusted out. But they're literally, I don't know if you can tell, they're painted underneath, and that's what the paint used to look like on the outside. Ooh, that was sharp. So I'm over here at the battery tray, which doesn't look too good. But here's the alternator. Here's the alternator wires. They've been chewed. And then here, right here's the other end of them. What? Rat time. Here's the positive cable. That's been chewed through right there. I would be replacing this anyway, this cable. And seeing that these go from here to here, I could trace these back wherever they go. That's not that big of a deal. It's more like if it gets up in your engine harness. These are just power wires. I can handle these. There's 4 wires there. Got to replace the battery tray. It's got some, it's corrosion, not rust. And the reason I bought the shop vac, because I look down inside, I see possibly where pack rats have moved in, you know, made a little apartment. Not too bad. Like, I've seen a lot worse. Not too bad, but there is some in there. And I did see some poos inside. Some little pellet poos. And there was some hornet's nests. There's big hornet's nests up on the grill. One inside the passenger door. You know, the honeycomb looking hornet's nest. But I want to get this thing clean before I pull this air cleaner off. You know, that's a huge thing covering the top of the motor. Then I'll be able to kind of get a look at it. So here's the basics. This is what I know, and I'm going to pass this on to you guys. So as it sits right now, the guy I bought it from was the second owner. I think someone lived up in Pacific Northwest. They moved to Phoenix. When they moved to Phoenix, then he bought it from them in Phoenix. But he's owned it like the life of the longest time of its life, right? So he's owned it for 20 plus years, I think. And it's an 86. So here's what he told me. He got the engine rebuilt. This is the Toyota 2F engine, carbureted. He got the engine rebuilt, and he put like 25,000 miles on it after the rebuild, and then he had parked it. Why he parked it, I don't know. He got a Toyota Tacoma or something. He just started driving that, and he just left this. But he did actually get the engine rebuilt. So the engine's been rebuilt and probably got 25,000 miles on a rebuild, which if it was done like properly, you know, Toyota spec, all that kind of stuff, that means it's a brand new engine. You know, to take that with a grain of salt. I did see some paperwork in here, old, crusty, crunchy paperwork, that it was done around 2000 is when it was done. So he parked it up in about 09 or before, because that's the last time it was registered, was in 09. And it sat for 10 years, he said. But he said when he parked it, it was running. He knows it needed an alternator because it was acting up. Who knows if it was wiring or what, but he said it needs an alternator. The starter was acting up, so alternator, starter, and a carburetor rebuild. Now, if I can get this thing going, and you know, there's a lot of ifs here. It's how much do I want to put into this, right? If it's super fun because it's manual, you know, and it's just an old classic, I've been looking into putting one of those Holley Sniper fuel injected throttle bodies on it, right? So to convert carbureted to fuel injected, it just replaces the carburetor, and it everything happens right there. It's not direct port injection, it's throttle body injection. And there's this Holley Sniper kit that's supposed to be pretty good. It has a couple sensors that you put on the motor, and then it has a computer that it comes with touchscreen, all that stuff, and it supposedly learns and kind of tunes itself in a way. I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. I mean, Holley's a pretty reputable company, so that's good news. I think what I'm going to do, here's going to be my plan after actually getting I got to get that purple tin off. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, rip the carpet out, get all kind of the cloth out of here, right? Then I'll be able to look at the structure of the inside of the body, be able to look at the bottom. After that, I'm going to go to the motor, and I found like I already looked, alternator, starter, they're both like I can get them under $100 or like $150 if I get Toyota remanufactured stuff, Denso. So I can get an alternator, a starter, and I can get a rebuild kit for about $35. It's just some of the soft goods in the carb. Do that, get all this fuel out of here, put new fuel in it, see if I can get this thing running. If I can get this thing running, then I can start saying, all right, I'm going to go carpet kit. I'm going to do all this stuff, right? I want to see where we're at. One of the other things is I'm going to figure out something either with this spare tire to put it on. I don't have my compressor here, so I can't see if this thing holds air, but I will do that. It just sounds like I got a little bit of a plan going now. So yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. I'm going to try and order a starter, and I'm going to order a battery tray, and I'm going to order an alternator and that rebuild kit for the carburetor. I think the rebuild kit, what was it, $35 or something? It's not, the big rebuild kits are like $100 or something. They're more expensive. But this one is just kind of like the diaphragms and crap like that. I've never seen so many vacuum lines in all my life though on this 2F motor. It's crazy. But I think he said he did desmog this thing. We don't have smog here we do in Phoenix, but not in northern Arizona because it's a rural area. You don't have to smog your cars up here. So I mean, you have your own responsibility to the environment. If you're that guy or that person pushing out raw fuel, stank everywhere, make sure you get your car tuned up. But this thing, we'll see. Kind of excited. It's just a lot of work because I still got this guy, the 80 series, that I have to do, all the stuff that I want to this. I just love this thing. This is my little tank right there. But this thing could be fun, it's a classic. It's a classic. And the community in the 60 series is a little bit different than like the 80 series community or the 100 series, I guess the older you get, a little bit more nostalgic about classics. Look at my little work area here. I turned the box for the shop vac into my trash can. Yeah, should be pretty good. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this was straight up going to be like a vlog. I wanted to share with you what I was doing on this Saturday. So Friday, I went and got it. Went to Harbor Freight, got some cleaning stuff. Now I know that I'm going to yank these seats out, pull the carpet out. That way I can put like a milk crate inside and I can actually sit inside. Right now I'm a little nervous to sit inside, that there could be like a rat or something hiding in the seats, because who knows. All right, you guys, thanks for watching.